Hello, today is Sunday, the 18th of June. As always, we'll start with our disclaimer, go over our calls, and then make some predictions. I'm going to have personal business for the foreseeable future, so just remember I'm not spending as much time as I normally do to do my analysis, and in any event, my analysis can be completely wrong, so for that reason, any trade one makes should be at one's own risk. On Friday, we expected the pattern with the early high, which is what we got, and on Tuesday, the market's closed Monday, and on Tuesday, I think we'll see the pattern with the early low. We had signals that were mixed, and the commonest thing is a gap and a prompt move outside the day's range, so we got that. We're still playing out the Fed whipsaw. The first move is down. It tells us the next move of consequence is going to be down, but it doesn't say when it starts. We've now moved 74.54 handles higher than the FOMC announcement price. We should move more than this under the announcement price. So we have a minimum target of 42.9938 once the decline starts, but until you move convincingly under the FOMC announcement price, 43.7393, the decline hasn't started. And just to remind you that nothing works every time. During the day, MEJT said this move up was false, price would retrace, which they did. Said this drop was false, price would retrace. Said this rally here was false, price would retrace. Now says the drop is false. Gives us a target of 44.3164. So according to the rules, if we don't gap down smartly, that's the target. Just remember that when there's a major change in trend, MEJT will almost always leave a failed target, so that might not work, and we're still looking for all these lower targets. When these targets don't print in their preferred time frame, it tends to happen in clusters, so you have to put less emphasis on the prices, even though they should print at some time. They have done so for 21 years. There's no reason to think they'll stop now. This is a weekly chart, we still got stopped right at resistance. We hit resistance and haven't broken through yet. Maybe we will, but so far we've stopped right at resistance. I don't think this count is clear at all, but it's still possible to count us in a wave 2, although a pretty unusual looking one. But if this is B of 2, we have an A, B, C with C equal to A. It's not convincing enough for me to risk money on based on the wave count alone, but at least there is a count which says that we hit a high today, or on Friday anyway. Well, Tuesday's pattern has a really low. It could still gap up. Their signals are mixed, so we'll use these rules we've used before. It's positive we have a higher target. So unless we gap down smartly, the rules call for that target to print. However, the system typically leaves a failed target at significant changes in trend, so gapping down like that's quite possible. Everything else I have is pretty negative stuff. It's negative. The high of day was in the first 5 minutes and low of day in the last 5 minutes. That's almost always leads to lower prices the next day, even if we don't close lower. We hit a new recovery high, but closed in the red under multiple prior highs, even prior lows. That's more negative stuff. It's a rejection of the high. Sentiment indicators are warning of a pullback at some time in the not too distant future, and it's possible that such a pullback will start Tuesday, even though I think we have much further to go on the upside before the rally's over. So any number of candidates for a top of this move, we know because of sentiment indicators and the Fed whipsaw, that it's going to pull back at some point with a significantly lower target. I think Friday's high is a reasonable candidate. I don't think it'll stand forever, but certainly if we dropped 100 handles from here, it wouldn't change the long-term picture. It would actually get us poised for the huge rally I see coming, but for right now, I don't like this action. If it's maintained at Tuesday's open, of course, we gap and take this high out, everything gets erased. The rules say you gap sharply in the undesired direction. Undesired direction for me would be up. The whole thing is killed before the open. But for right now, it's a rejection of the high. We have lower targets. This target may fail. These targets should print at some time. We just can't say when. So it's the pattern on Tuesday with the early low. If this is maintained, it's negative. I think that the higher price target, 44.3164, may fail. But if we don't gap down smartly, the rules say it prints. So that's today's call.